Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. Do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. I try to put gaming content out like this on a regular basis, and if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. Now with that said, today's video, I want to give my 2020 gaming predictions. Now, I watched another channel, my buddy Tim from Rage Lag Gaming. If you haven't seen his channel, go check it out, subscribe, great channel. And it made me think, wow, that looks like fun, and I want to do one of those videos too. I think he had nailed a couple things, and I wanted to give my prediction video. So here we go, let's start out. Now, we all know that this year is going to be the start of next gen. We're going to get Xbox Series X at the end of the year, and we're going to get PlayStation 5. And it's definitely exciting, very exciting times. I love next generation consoles when they first come out. It's super exciting. Now, Xbox has already announced that they are not going to have any exclusives for like up to the first year, which I think is insane. And PlayStation, they're doing what PlayStation does. They're going to have first-party games and they're going to have exclusives. And that's why my prediction is that PlayStation 5 totally outsells Xbox Series X, and it's just going to be a runaway hit. That's going to be the system to get this holiday season, along with the Nintendo Switch. So as far as hardware, PlayStation 5, I believe, is totally going to reign supreme when that comes out. And I think Nintendo Switch is going to be reigning supreme as well. Because let's face it, this last year, 2019, was all Nintendo Switch. You know, because we were at the end of the life cycle of Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And, you know, Nintendo just, they had the games, they had new systems. With the Switch Lite, they had the revision with the version 2 Nintendo Switch with the better battery life and the better screen. So that really helped Nintendo out, in my opinion. Now, I think also a wild prediction, I guess, for 2020. And, well, not wild. I think this is going to definitely happen, in my opinion, that Nintendo is going to come out with a revision of the Nintendo Switch. It's not going to be a Switch 2 or any of that kind of stuff. I don't think they'll call it the Switch Pro, but it's going to be along those lines of an upgraded Nintendo Switch. So I think they're going to call it either like the new Nintendo Switch or the Switch Plus, something of that nature, which is going to have a better screen. You know, we already know that they did make a deal with Sharp behind the scenes that they're going to get a bunch of their like great displays that draw less power and can do up to 4K. But I don't think Nintendo's going to push their screen to 4K. I think they're going to go up to 1080p in docked because 4K, let's face it, Xbox and PS4 Pro and the One X, they struggle to do 4K gaming. And I don't think Nintendo is going to go that route. I don't think they have to, especially in handheld mode. If anything, I could see them, you know, putting a dock with this thing that does up to 4K. But still, I don't know if that would happen. I would say, if anything, it's still going to be 1080p docked and 1080p handheld on this new screen. And it's going to be, you know, possibly a little bit of a redesigned system, definitely an upgrade, probably better quality, more quality looking anyway, but something that's a little bit more beefier and can run these games at higher frame rates. And I believe that that is going to launch with a game that's going to be more specific to that system. But I don't think Nintendo is going to separate any of their first party games. I believe that all those games are going to run on Switch, Switch Lite, and Switch Plus. So that's my prediction. Anyway, I'd say that this new Nintendo Switch console, if it doesn't come out in the very, very end of the spring, is going to come out sometime in the summer, but definitely before the next gen consoles. It's just going to be that extra bit to kind of not even really compete, to just, you know, be part of the Nintendo Switch family and to give the Nintendo Switch a bit longer of a lifespan, because before they come out with a new Switch or a Switch 2. which eventually that's going to happen. But I think this version of the Switch, they're just going to update it, because I mean, let's face it, it's already been basically 3 years now. So Nintendo likes to update their stuff. You know, they like to keep their stuff out a while and continue supporting it, but they do like to, you know, do revisions. That's just how it is. So I believe this revision is definitely going to happen this year, and probably it's going to happen by the time the summer ends. So, you know, take that for what you will. That's my prediction. And I think that alongside a first-party Nintendo Switch Plus game, because I believe they'll have you know, a game that's gonna just, you know, be meant to showcase what the new hardware can do, that they'll also have a third-party game that also can show what this thing can do. And I think there's going to be third-party developers that also, maybe not right away, but down the road, are going to just make games possibly for the Switch Plus, just because the regular Nintendo Switch may be barely able to run this, or if at all. So it's going to be something to, like I said, help prolong the life of the Nintendo Switch current. So like I said, take that for what you will. That's just my prediction. Now, as far as PlayStation 5 games, now I do think that PlayStation is going to come out and announce a bunch of first-party games, probably Xbox too, but as far as Xbox, I don't think we're going to really see much for this year. It'll be stuff that was either already announced, like third-party stuff that we're waiting for, but as far as Xbox, I think they're going to announce a bunch of new games that are, you know, their first-party stuff from all these developers that they recently bought, but that we're not going to see them till down the road. That's probably why they said it'll be about a year until they really have exclusives for Xbox Series X, because I think that these games are all in development and they're just not going to be ready. And whatever games that are going to come out for Series X are going to come out for PC, you know, and Xbox One X and One S and all that stuff. So it'll still be sort of a current gen. It'll be like a cross gen. But I think Sony, that they are going to have things that are going to be first-party games that launch specifically for PS5 this holiday season. Games that are going to only run on the PS5, but then they will also have games that are going to be cross-platform as well. And I think as far as Sony, some of the games, now these are kind of wild card. I think some of the wild card games that we could see from Sony would be God of War 2, which would be their Ragnarok game, Spider-Man 2, because I want to say that that they've been working on Spider-Man 2 as soon as they finished with Spider-Man 1, and let's face it, that game was a massive success. Something like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, because that came out years back, and you know that they're going to have a sequel to it. And something, let's see. Yeah, I think that was it. That was all that was it for PlayStation 5. So as far as like their big titles, so it was, yeah, God of War 2, Spider-Man 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Those three games, I think, are something that could potentially be a game that is going to be launching this holiday season with that system. Like I said, that's all speculation. I'd say at least one of them probably would realistically make it. But it would be cool to see all of them. But, you know, let's see here. Like, I had to write some of this stuff down because there was a lot to wrap my head around. And as far as Xbox, I think what they're going to do this year is going to be pretty much dominating mostly as far as xCloud. When that fully launches out and, you know, it's available for anybody, I think that's going to pretty much put Google Stadia, you know, 6 feet under completely. Let's face it, Google Stadia is not doing so hot now, and unless they come out with some exclusive games to just Stadia, they're not going to go anywhere but under. So I think once the Xbox Game Cloud or Xbox the cloud thing comes out, I think that that's going to pretty much, you know, be the nail in the coffin of Google Stadia. And if Google Stadia goes totally under and just, you know, just closes their cloud service. That I don't know if they would do that, but I think they're going to be thinking about it, and who knows, it could happen the following year. But I think that Xbox Cloud Service is definitely going to hurt Google Stadia, and that's going to be Xbox's real winner there. And I think Nintendo Switch, I think they are going to have the just crowning year. Last year, 2019, Nintendo Switch did absolutely amazing. They had just awesome sales. They came out with a hardware revision. They came out with a Switch Lite. But I think, like, as far as the 3DS, I think they're probably going to announce the end of it this year. Probably by the end of the year, I think that'll be the end of that, and that they're going to focus all their attention on the Switch, which they're already doing, but they may totally just drop the 3DS where there's no eShop or any of that, and, you know, totally 100% go to the Switch route, focus on the eShop, and give us an update to the eShop, which is something that's badly needed. So I think my prediction for the eShop is that we are going to see something in September for, I guess that would be their third year. We're going to see Nintendo 64 games get dropped on there, and we're also going to see some type of revision to the interface, where it's not going to be a huge leap, but they might restructure a bit. So hopefully that something like that happens. But I do think we're going to see Nintendo 64 games on there. Maybe not a ton, but I think we're going to see some, and that's going to be them, you know, trying to get people to sign on for that third year. Now, as far as games, and like let's start out with add-ons. Now, I think that we're going to see another Mario Maker 2 update this year. We had the last one, which was pretty decent. It had the Zelda content and stuff where you could be Link, and I think they're gonna do something like that, where they added more enemies and stuff like they did with this last one. I think they're gonna add more with the next one, and maybe some other character stuff. So I definitely believe that we're gonna get some kind of, you know, bigger update or another decent sized one, just like we had with Mario Maker 2 recently. And as far as Smash Brothers Ultimate, I believe that they're gonna finally fully release the Fighters Pass. Well, they're already gonna release the last fighters. We already found out who they were, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get, you know, the announcement of the next Fighter Pass and when the characters are gonna start coming. The first one, at least, I think we're gonna get. So, you know, that will be really cool just to see who those, at least some of those next fighters are gonna be. But, you know, I believe that's definitely gonna happen. And as far as something like Pokemon, we already know that we're getting updates, so we're not going to see no Ultimate Sword, Ultimate Shield, any kind of stuff like that. But I do believe we're going to see Let's Go games. We're going to see 2 of them, just like you would with any Pokemon. But we're going to see whatever their next Let's Go games are going to be. That'll be fall release this year, because let's face it, that's what we had the last 2 years. We had Pokemon games. Why would they stop now? Because they're selling. You know, with all the controversy, whatever, it doesn't matter. Those games are selling, and people buy them up. So they're gonna have some more. So you can guarantee that. Let's see. And real quick before I get, the Atari VCS is going to launch this year. And it's going to be a massive failure. A lot of people are going to be pissed off, especially the people that backed it. The thing is going to be an absolute joke, and it's going to fail. That's my prediction on that. I just wanted to throw that out there quick. But, okay, so back to Nintendo. I already talked about the Switch Pro coming out and the AAA games with it. Let's see. Ports. We're going to see something with Pikmin. Either the Pikmin 3 remake, or not remake, but, you know, like the ultimate version or whatever version you want to call it, a deluxe version. Basically a 1080p version of that game with maybe some added features. Or we're going to see Pikmin 4, but I believe we're going to see something from the Pikmin series this year, almost definitely. We know that they've been working supposedly on Pikmin 4 for years now. So I think we're going to see something from that franchise, especially 2. They did recently update the rights or whatever to Pikmin. So I think that's definitely going to happen. Something with Pikmin is going to happen in 2020. And let's see here. This is the big one. This is one that I'm really excited for. We're going to see something new in the Metroid series. Now, it's either going to be a totally brand new 2D Metroid game, or we're going to see finally the Metroid Prime Trilogy HD version. But something is going to happen in 2020 with Metroid, and I do believe in the next at least month and a half, and this could start anywhere from maybe Tuesday of this upcoming week on to say the end of February, that we're going to get a Nintendo Direct. And in that Direct, we're going to hear something Metroid related, you know, if it's going to be, like I said, just a teaser or what, but I believe we're going to see something this year, Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, or an altogether different Metroid 2D game. So I don't care either, both. I'm excited. I want Metroid, because we're definitely not going to see Metroid Prime 4 this year. It's just not going to happen. Alright, so I think too, Nintendo is also going to come out with something that we totally don't see coming. We're going to get some, you know, big announcement of some games that nobody could have even seen coming, or just nobody thought they were going to make, if it be an F-Zero or a Star Fox. But let's face it, they're going to have a big IP that's going to launch. We got a lot of the other things already. We got Animal Crossing coming up. Another thing that's going to be a massive success. That's my prediction on that game. But as far as another port, we are going to see a Mario 3D World come from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, because they love porting Wii U games, and that is a game that needs to come, and we need to see Mario, and they're gonna definitely produce some Mario this year. That's one thing I'd say we're gonna 100% get that port. That's my prediction of 3D Mario World. And we're also going to see another Mario game by the end of the year. If it's a Mario Odyssey 2 or if it's just a Paper Mario, but we are going to see another big Mario game this year come out. So that's another one of my big predictions. Now, another big prediction too is I believe Nintendo is going to come out with some unseen peripheral. The first year, or the 1 year, we had Labo, then we had the Ring Fit. So I'd say we're either going to get a third thing that nobody's seen coming, because let's face it, you can't even predict the weird stuff that Nintendo is going to come out with. We either get something huge like that, or we're going to get more games for the Ring Fit. You know, that little round thing, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the Ring Fit peripheral. We're going to get another thing for that, because let's face it, unlike Labo, the Ring Fit peripheral is a massive success. It sold really well. It did crazy great sales in Japan. So I do believe we're going to see something unforeseen from that. Or we're going to get something totally new that nobody was expecting. But like I said, definitely plan on Nintendo pulling an IP, like I said, a Star Fox or something out of nowhere that you just totally weren't expecting. Even something like a Punch-Out! So that's another prediction there. And as far as their big game for the fall season, I believe it is going to be Breath of the Wild 2, which is going to not only compete with Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, but is also meant to complement this upgraded Nintendo Switch and be the fall game to help sell that thing. And they'll probably, push, basically push that next gen, or that, not next gen system, but updated system with, Breath of the Wild to, with either just higher frame rates or, clearer gameplay or something that helps sell that system. So those are my, pretty much overall gaming opinions and predictions for 2020. Some of the really wild predictions, I think, are gonna be something like the God of War 2, Ragnarok coming out for PS5, or Spider-Man 2, or Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Those are probably unlikely, but let's face it, they would be awesome. And I hope one or all of them come out. And Bayonetta 3, that's a wild prediction. That could come out this year, but probably unlikely. We haven't heard nothing yet, but we will see probably in the next Nintendo Direct a lot more of what's going to happen, and we'll know a lot more. But another wild prediction is the Game Awards. I think this would be fun. So I did like a matchup of what I think this year's Game Awards is going to look like. Now, it's going to be Doom Eternal versus Cyberpunk 2077 versus Breath of the Wild 2 versus Last of Us 2 versus Resident Evil 3 versus Final Fantasy VII Remake and Halo Infinite. Wow, imagine that. Just a bunch of games going head to head. Man, that would be awesome. So that was my 2020 predictions. Like I said, it's just a lot of fun. I wanted to do this because, you know, at the end of the year, we could see how totally absurd a lot of this stuff was, or how right a bunch of it was, and be like, wow, that was pretty cool. We did get this and it was awesome. Or just be like, wow, that was way off, and whew, let's try harder the next year. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think some of this stuff is actually going to come to fruition. If, you know, you think that we're going to see, you know, the Switch Pro or Plus model come out with a Juggernaut game with it to help promote it as well, like I do. And like Tim from Rage Lag Gaming, he thinks the same. And, you know, I think it's almost a definite that's going to happen. But do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be Nintendo's big game for the year? Let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you guys' big predictions are. What do you think is going to happen in 2020? I'd love to hear about it. It's a lot of fun going over this stuff. But that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. Like I said, I try to put gaming content out like this on a steady basis. I do the best I can, but thanks for watching, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.